This week, we're on the road. We're live in Central Park. And this week's album I just picked up, it's called Music from Big Pink. It's a classic. Everybody should know this one by the band. This is from Academy Music on 72nd and Broadway. Good people over there. The guy gave me a deal on this album. So the band played with Bob Dylan in the mid-60s. It's a beautiful day. They toured with him in 65 and 66 when Bob Dylan was going electric. He was playing half acoustic, half electric shows, and the crowds were booing them because they thought electric was a sellout. So there's a famous show where it was basically a war against the crowd. You hear Bob say, "Play it fucking loud" in the last song. It was like the punk rock of its day. And then Bob Dylan retired to go to up north to Woodstock to just sort of write songs for fun. He retired out of the rock star life, and but what he really did was went and just played music for the hell of it with his friends in the band, and they just wrote songs, and that became the Basement Tapes. Maybe almost 80 to 100 songs they wrote. That became a very famous collection, and some of the tunes on here came out of that. But it's a wonderful collection of songs, one of the best ever, just in American music, real music. This album came out of it. It's written mainly by Robbie Robertson, who sat at the feet of Bob Dylan, the master. And if you know the band, you think of them as sort of roots rock, and obviously you see that picture, it looks like a roots rock, country rock band, but this is much more of not quite what you expect. It's an elegant album, elegiac, thoughtful. It's not, drunken hoedown rock. This is a really smart album that makes you think. Look at two songs here. Tears of Rage is from the Basement Tapes, and it's the one that starts, "We carried you in our arms on Independence Day." And later it says, "We scratched your name in sand, and you thought it was nothing more than a place for you to stand. Now the heart is filled with gold, as if it was a purse. But what kind of love is this that goes from bad to worse? Tears of rage, tears of grief, why must I always be the thief?" I always wonder what the song's about, and I've thought for a while that it's about civil rights, or like the slaves, say, who fought in the War of Independence, and then after the war's over went right back to being slaves. Or maybe even that it's about actual guns, like the Nas song. It's a personification of a gun. We fought this for you, and now you throw us back on the shelf. There's references to King Lear in there. But really it's a song about betrayal, political betrayal. We fought for you, we gave you power, and you stabbed us in the back. Now must I always be the thief? So it's a pretty timeless song, and you should think about that next time you listen to that, what you think it means. The other one is The Weight. That's the classic on here, one of the classics. Now everybody knows The Weight. Pulled into Nazareth, I was feeling about half past dead. That's probably the most known band song. I think that song is about the myth of Jesus. Meaning, that song is about a guy who gets sent into town and has to take on everybody's problems and sins And would you take care of my dog? Would you go hang out with this person? Would you go do this? Take the load off Fanny and you put the load right on me. So it's basically from the point of view, the Jesus myth, saying this poor guy, he got sent down and he's got to deal with everybody's problems. That's what I think the weight is. Like, how dare you deal with your own problems? Chest Fever is a banger. That's an awesome keyboard solo by Garth Hudson right there. Cool dude. They're all cool dudes. I Shall Be Released is the other great one. As you can see, Dylan is all over this album. But Bob Dylan was really playing it close with fame and drugs and just sort of hitting the edge. I think Bob Dylan came very close to being one of those guys who died at very young if he hadn't retired and made music with the band. And I Shall Be Released is one of those songs that realizes it, and probably would have been his last and would have been like his final tune. You listen to that song, it's a dark song. It's looking for a way out, and in a lot of ways Dylan almost was one of those young deaths in rock and roll. Thank God he wasn't. Meanwhile, it's a beautiful day. So that's this classic. I'm so happy to have this, and this is Shem the Pen for the Keystone.